Hey Void, how you doing? Well, I'm kind of glad I've been doing this. My Shudder trek. For you guys are just jumping in on this video, I say like I actually have an audience. I know no one's watching this. But anyway, if someone's just watching at this point, for the past several videos, I've been just going back to the oldest videos on Shudder, and it's been working forward slowly through their catalog. And doing that, just watching everything that's there, regardless of whether or not I want to see it or not. And usually I've been finding some movies that I might not have originally would have seen, but have been enjoying. And a few ones I've been meaning to see that maybe didn't pan out so well. But this one, this one got, this one hit me right. I was really happy I saw this one. And to be honest, I probably wouldn't have picked it up otherwise. So, this is a movie called Shrew's Nest. I had never heard of this film. It's a movie that's a Spanish-French co-production, but the language is Spanish. So set over in 1950s Spain. This one, it did have an original Spanish title, Mura. Let me see what else. Musarañas, which I think just means shrew. So Shrew's Nest. And yeah, this one kind of hit me in the right spots. It's a twisted little flick. At first, I spent most of it like, okay, yeah, it's a bit like Misery, but this one doesn't seem to be quite so much of a horror. Kind of a psychological little thriller, maybe a drama. Oh, wait, no. Now we're cutting up bodies and making a corpse into a dressmaker's doll. Okay, never mind. This is firmly, definitely in the horror camp. Okay, so this movie, I liked it. I liked this one a lot. So, how do I even go about this one? Uh, it's primarily focuses around two sisters. Monze, the older sister, who's trying to look after the younger one, but because of some events that aren't immediately stated in her past, then in both of their pasts, primarily seeming to relate somewhere around their father. Then she is a complete agoraphobe and just cannot leave the apartment. She works as a dressmaker, and however has been getting a little bit of a drug to help her sleep, and is growing nervous that her younger sister, who just turned 18, might be slowly starting to try to move away or drift apart, realizing that she's got no real contact with anything beyond. Uh, the younger sister is the main character here, but well, at least from primarily from her point of view. But Monze really seems to be kind of the focus here, as it's her inability to cope and her actions that really drive everything. So things really kick off when a man turns up at their door. Now, we saw him only once before, as he was telling someone that he would need to get away and was probably just going to be taking off. Well, he fell down the stairs and landed right at their door. They live in kind of an apartment complex. And he pretty much was able to knock for help and then passed out right there. So Monze takes him in and puts him in bed and, well, starts lying to him that she called the doctor, as she now becomes desperate to keep him there because this is her one connection to the outside world, and she's starting to get a bit of a thing for him. So it's kind of, it is a lot like Misery in that regard, but in this one, that one, Annie Wilkes was clearly off the deep end in a maniacal sort of way. Monze, yeah, she's doing terrible things, but you understand why and where she's coming from on a lot of it, and you know that she's not doing the right well things, but she's trying in her weird way. Yeah, it's unhealthy what she's doing, but you can see what made her that way. some of the flashback, like she constantly is seeing her father around berating her, for example. So, I'm probably going to have to get into some spoiler territories here to discuss some of the things here. But, yeah, I'm going to just say right here, I'm giving this one 8 MacGuffins. I really did enjoy this one. This one hit me very well. I'm going to be thinking about this one long after, and that's a good sign for some of these movies. And when you understand, and then for me, it was the Momse's descent into madness here, essentially, that really drove it for me. Um, she's an interesting character, and while she definitely does some very terrible things, you she's still somewhat sympathetic throughout it. Well, okay, spoilers. So, where to begin with this one? So, I was able to call pretty quick that she had been abused by her father. They kind of vaguely hint at it before, but they do eventually come out and say it. And yeah, so they don't shy away from some very taboo subjects here. Also, they mention that her younger sister, Esther, feels a bit of animosity towards her because she doesn't have any pictures with their mother, or only with Monze, because their mother died when giving birth to the younger sister. Well, there's other reasons for that, but I'm not even going to touch on that in the spoilers here, but it does make the events even more heartbreaking as they go along. Now, I keep referring to Monze by her name, but the younger sister is just younger sister because, turns out, and I didn't realize this until they mentioned it at the end, they never say her name. Throughout the entirety of the movie, they never actually name her. Some characters refer to her as the girl, but they never actually say her name. Or La Niña. Eventually, when the guy who was in the bed, who's been interacting with her, finally asks what her name is, and then she whispers it to him. So, I didn't even realize I didn't know her name until then. That's how sucked in I got into this flick. So, just for a little bit more into the spoiler territory, eventually the girl, La Nina, I guess, obviously finds out that she's keeping a man here, and starts talking to him, and kind of gets a little bit of a thing for him herself. So she keeps sneaking in to see him, and keeps trying to warn him to get out. Monze is not well. Well, he doesn't because he's trying to hide from his fiancée, so he's just kind of do that well. But it all falls apart when the fiancée finally tracks him down, and Monze is now confronted with something that's about to shatter her new thing. It doesn't help that the guy, Carlos, is now also starting to try to realize he should be leaving, and so that's as he realizes his leg is getting worse, it's broken, and no doctor's been here, so begins trying to escape, which Monze doesn't like, and La Nina tries to help him out. And it's very much a kind of a cat and mouse sort of thing from there. And eventually, when Monze kills the fiance, she ends up pretty much hiding her body as props around her dressmaking stand, which is a bit horrific when that comes to light. So there's a lot going on in Shrew's Nest, and this movie was really working for me. It's very atmospheric. The soundtracking draws you in. The acting is brilliant. I don't know if there's much I would really add, but I don't know if I just from from overall enjoyment, I don't know if I could rate it much higher. But it's gotta be one of the favorite movies I've seen doing this, and I will highly recommend it. I would like to track down a copy to own for this one. It doesn't say much. I like to own many, many movies, but this one I would actually bump up on that list. Alright. Shrew's Nest. It's on Shudder right now. I don't know if it's a Shudder exclusive. It might be. That one doesn't say if it is right now. I guess it's also on AMC Plus and Prime Video, from what I'm seeing here. But So it's out there. See this movie.